Okay, welcome back. We've allowed our shrub underbrush to dry. It's nice and hard now. So now what we're going to do is we're going to move on to the field part. We're going to do the main body of the field. Like I said before, it's going to have a lot of stuff in it. A lot of colors, textures. We'll build it up as we go in layers, but for the basic, what I'm going to call body, we're going to use two different field grasses, mainly one with a little bit of something else in it. The main body field grass is going to be the green, the bright green field grass, there as you can see, and we're also going to add a little in between the olive field grass, which is drastically different as you can see. Put them together here. We're not going to mix them equally or anything, or just go back and forth, or else it'll look like a giant candy cane. So we just want to add a couple little strands in here and there as we go, and then once the main body is in, then we'll go back and we'll start filling it with all the different more textury weeds. One which will be one of my favorites is our green field weed 2. We're also going to use the 1. Once we get to that stage, I'll show you those. Plus a lot of the other stuff we're going to put in it. You can kind of see, give you an idea of what we're going to be intertwining it with. That's going to be after the grass, though. It's going to take a while to put the grass in. I'm going to show you the basic technique, and then we'll turn the camera off and I'll actually fill it all in, then I'll get it back on and we'll start with the other stuff. One of the main things we'll do after it's in, because this grass is tall, you can do whatever you want with it. It's taller than what we're going to want. So once it's all in and it dries, we're going to give it a little bit of a haircut. Now, we're not going to give it a traditional straight across cut. If there's something you don't like or it's too high, never do it like that. When we get to that stage, I'll show you. What we're going to do is actually trim it this way, and we'll get it down, and that'll give us a much more realistic look. Now, since I'm going to be using a bunch of this, I took a lot out and I got a bunch of it set. Once it's in my fingers, I'll trim it again before we dip it in matte medium and put it on the base. That's another reason, like I said, we use a static grass. I don't know if you've used any kind of grass material before. Stick it in glue, try to put it on wherever you're working, a lot of times it'll just fall over. Very hard to deal with. The static grass, it makes life much easier. Not only will it give you something to look at if you're looking through the grass, it looks like something's growing beyond. It's a great holding medium, I guess, for doing this. So, like I said, we took a whole bunch out. What we're going to do, we're just going to use traditional matte medium, favorite all around. Can use whatever your favorite glue is. So we'll do this, we'll get the main body in, we'll come back, start adding some of the other textures. We'll do the shrubs last. We're going to add sap, we're going to add all sorts of stuff. So let's do the grass part first. I'll show you how we do it, or how I do it. Now for glue, I just use one of these little cups, but I use the bottom of it just to, I don't know, probably can't even see what I'm doing here. Here, this is hard. Just put some glue on the top. Don't put a lot in, because we'll just keep filling it as we go. I'm going to put it over here where I can get to it. Now, for the grass, I take a little clump. Okay, a little clump with my fingers. But now what we have to do is cut it. So, since I'm right-handed, now it's in my right hand, I got to get it into my left. Get close. I'm not going to do it over this so I don't make a mess, but what we want to do is we want it to cut flat. So on the way it's going to go in there. Then I'll switch it back. Sometimes a couple more strands pop out. Make sure. Do it with my left hand now. Try to. Alright. Again, this is what they made blood pressure medicine for. Alright, it's really kind of hard to see. I got my camera in a weird spot here. So basically what I'm going to do, I'm just going to dip a little bit in. Just want to get the bottom. And you're going to find a starting space. I like to work more out and come back towards myself. So what I'm going to do is do a couple clumps, and then I'll show you how we blend them, start blending them together, because we don't want it to look like just clumps of grass. We want this to be a uniform we'll say virgin field, one that's not really been run over except for where these tracks are going to be. Same thing. Close the other one. See, already it stands up. It's nice. It's not falling over. I want to get 3 or 4 clumps in. This will be slow drying glue. It's just regular matte medium. It's not fast high tack or quick tack or tacky. So you got plenty of time. So I like to do groups of 4, 5, and then we'll mush them together a little bit. I want to keep them pretty close. Okay. Now what I do, although it actually looks pretty uniform already, but I want to make sure as we work our way around this, it's actually a field. So I'm going to take a, I don't know what you want to call it, a little something or another here. I'm going to go down in it and spread it out a little bit and blend it into the other ones. So they kind of flow together, even down at the bases. Now some pieces will pull up, don't worry about it, and don't even get concerned about really getting rid of them. It's much easier after things dry so you don't start pulling stuff up. Now this will really look right and come together once we actually give it the trim. Okay, those look good. Do a couple more. Now as you can see by how far we just got in that amount of time, this is going to take a pretty long time to do. So I'm just showing you the technique. Then I'll go back and I'll do it, and then I'll get the camera back on when we start filling in more of the detailed weeds. There's no reason to watch hours of this. Now this is a brighter green. I have a dye that I can come back, I can change this color a little bit, which we probably will with a brush here and there, just to break it up a little bit. You can also airbrush it. You know, you can change the color however you want. I wouldn't recommend going in with a brush, but once this is all done, if you want to alter the color, you can mist in with an airbrush. Either some other green or a real diluted earth color to kind of tone it down. I'm going for a spring summer bright look, so we'll alter it, and a lot of the other weeds that we put in it will also break up the color, but I want a lot of this green, everything green. Now if this were a fall scene, we'd just swap everything off with the tan field grass or the fawn. The fall scenes, autumn, winter, are much easier than green scenes. But green scenes are kind of fun. And I'll show you how we do all the shrubs and saplings and all the fun stuff. Now we got a couple strands come out. Now you can push it a little bit to get in where you want to get the next clump, but now you can come in and straighten it up. I go down into the base and I kind of pry it apart a little bit to blend in with the others. Try to get rid of that clumpy look. Again, some pieces will fall down, don't worry about it. Remember, we're going to be intermixing other weeds with it. Now, other than where the shrub, the heavier shrub stuff will be, there's going to be a, I don't know, a spot around here somewhere. I'm going to put a little clump of red twig shrubs. So I won't really put much of this there. but it also does not need any kind of underbrush. I'll show you how we do those when we get to it. So, alright. There, that gives you an idea of how we're going to do it. Now we're just going to keep going. We're going to fill it all in. We're going to leave the tracks till last, because once everything's all set, we're going to use the dry mud, and then we're basically going to use the wet mud as a holding for our grass. We're going to get it in quick. We're going to need to do both of these strips while that's wet, and then actually roll it over while it's wet to give it that look like we just crushed it over. Now it's not going to be a muddy scene, but we're using that mud to give the softer earth look to look like we plowed it over, and then the tank is actually going to stop right here. So the little saplings that are here will crush over as we do it. So, alright, we're going to stop there and we'll come back in a little bit, or in a couple days, and we'll continue from there.